You know, people sometimes wonder why food trucks fail. Um, but we seem to miss overshoot, or we seem to miss the point. What causes a food truck? One of the main reasons, say, after all said and done, you passed your inspection. You're happy. You're feeling good. Truck is nice and new. Now you're ready. You got family. You got support. The enthusiasm is there. The drive is there. Family's backing you up. Yeah, some people do have family. Yeah, some people do. People do have family to support them. Not all of us are running around here astray, okay? One of the worst mistakes you can make in your food truck when you first start out is to start cooking from scratch. Let me pick an example. The average box of oxtails is what? $300. Okay? For that 300, how many pounds is it? It's actually a box of oxtails is 30 pounds. So you serve about, I would say, a pound of meat to a person, right? Which, like, a pound is around 16 ounces. So you do this. A 30-pound box of oxtail is what? Nothing but fat. Well, I can't say that. I would say half and half. But there it is. You go out, you buy this 30-pound box of oxtails. That could only probably yield about, I would say, 30 meals. If you got away with selling 30 meals, remember you got to add sides and sauce and everything else, napkins. So you figure this. You spent 300, you sell at $30 a plate. That's about $900. Did you make a profit? Well, ask yourself, if you made a profit, you made $900, which is triple the amount that you purchased the oxtails for. I didn't add the rice. I didn't add the sides. I didn't add the napkins. I didn't add spoons and forks and condiments. I didn't do that. That's the kind of math you are going to have to do. Did you make a profit? You made $600 on top of the three that you spent. You had to prep. You had to clean the meat. You had to actually brine the meat, spice the meat, make it taste good, and then cook the meat. How long did that take? Overnight? How many hours you got into that? See, these are the things you got to think about. I know, you can cook. You've been doing it a long time. It's a family recipe. But no. Right now, you're satisfying yourself. You're like a DJ who was hired to play, salsa, and suddenly he's playing reggae. So he's playing his own music. He's listening to his own everything. He's his own audience. He got paid to come entertain his own ego or likings, right? Well, no, you cannot have a food truck and start playing gourmet. That's where you're going to fail, because not only food is expensive, the labor, the time. Keep this in mind. When you cook a meal, you put time and labor into it. When you get a profit from that meal, you got to pay yourself, and then you got to pay the truck and the equipment that you're using, simply because if something goes wrong, that same money, that same profit that you thought you made will go into the repairs, and they're not cheap. Okay, well, let me compare the oxtail comparison to food that is already made. Okay, now let's talk chicken tenders and fries. A box of chicken tenders and fries is, let's say, the 30s. It's in the 30s, okay? And a box of French fries of your choice I love the Excalibur coated, by the way, by Premium Select. Keeps your oil clean. You figure you spend about $70 between those two, and then now you're selling chicken tenders and fries. You say, nah, the box of chicken tenders is what? I can get about 40 servings between the two. Well, let's just say 30 servings, right? You sell 30 servings at about between $10 and $15. Let me just pick 10 to say the least. So you figure $10 and you sell 30 orders. That's $300 right there. You can do the math. But look at the labor you put in. Actually, you put in no labor besides going out, pick it up, and then refrigerating it, versus the time and effort in spicing and everything else you put into the oxtail, which is profitable. Well, I don't cook processed foods. I don't this. Well, that's you. People don't mind eating chicken tenders. They don't. Eventually, you're going to figure it out because you're going to burn yourself out. Because inside of a food truck, like I tell everybody, it is not a joke. It's hot. It's crimped. And everything else that goes on in the food truck. It's like you're working in a submarine. Okay? And if you have help, it's even worse having help because y'all got to excuse each other. It gets very tense, by the way. So you figure what? A 10-pound box of chicken tenders, it yields approximately, they say, 32 to 53. Remember I picked 30? Well, let's say if you did between 32 and 53. Let me pick 40 orders. 40 orders is like, okay, at $10. See, now you made an extra 100. Okay? So, okay, you made $400 between a box of fries and a box of chicken tenders that you only spent $80. I'm just saying 80. You see how much profit you made with less labor? Okay, well, let's continue. Chicken tenders, you could make sandwiches out of them. You could make chicken tacos out of them using a soft shell, adding salad, three Mexican cheese. You can add, you can do a wrap with them, some sort of a Caesar wrap, or you can do anything with those chicken tenders. And then the fries, you can sell loaded fries with cheese. You can sell the fries chili cheese fries. You can do cheese fries and broccoli. There's so much you can do with those two at a very minimal amount of hours. Now, by now you realize I'm like, okay, well, I'm comparing the chicken tenders with the oxtails. When you first start out, it is a bad idea for you to start gourmet cooking, chef of the future and stuff like that. It's not going to make you money. If you listen to what I'm saying to you, it's very simple math. Okay? Let me pick hot dogs. You get a box of hot dogs from Sam's. You figure, they do sell it. Sam's does sell it. The reason why I stopped buying it, it got ridiculous. It went from 90 something to 100 and damn near $50. It's some good hot dogs. I just went over to Blimpies instead. I don't like, and I repeat, I don't like some bread hot dogs because of the salt. And if you try to treat the salt, it comes out with this white flesh-looking thing in the water. I don't think that, I don't know what it is with those hot dogs. But anyway, you can go Blimpies, for instance. You sell the average hot dog for $4. Okay. Love a hot dog. Good recipe right there. Love a hot dog on a potato bun. Okay. $4 a hot dog, just say the least. Okay, well, $4 a hot dog. If you do the math, the hot dog is actually will triple in profit with little to next to no labor. What I do is I soak them, get the salt out. Customer comes up, boom. I fry them, put it in that bun. Hot dog, minimal labor. The profit margin is around, say, if you spent 100 and something on a box of hot dogs at $5 a piece, there's 120 hot dogs in one box. So 5 times 100 gives you 500, and then 5 times 20. So you'll make $600 off of a box of hot dogs. So why would I go cooking rice and beans and curry goat and curry chicken and oxtails to do what? To make a name for myself? I mean, if you have catering, for instance, you do catering, right? An order like that comes up and the person says, well, can you make me, oxtails and curry this and that and the other? Yeah. You just got to price it. If the price is right, you do it. See, that's a different game. Okay? That's a different game between catering and selling food out of your food truck. These are the things that I want you to write down and do the math between your labor, the cost, and the food that you don't sell. You make this big pot of food, rice, oxtails, and in sides. It's usually cabbage if you're from the Caribbean, and you didn't sell it all. Now you got to put it back in the fridge, refrigerate it, and hopefully tomorrow it'll have the same vigor and people won't notice this food's been like, oh man. I mean, the meat itself could stay overnight, but when it comes to rice and everything else, that's an if. Now, when you make your rice, do you make your rice in small portions, or do you make this huge big Dutch oven pot of rice? Hopefully you would sell it throughout the day. That's usually not the case. Now, chicken tenders and the hot dogs that I compared this with, you can always refrigerate them for the next day. Or you could always put out a certain amount that you guaranteed to sell. And if you do sell out, you could always say, well, give me 30 minutes, get some hot dogs ready. Remember, I boil them and I fry them. So that shouldn't take long at all. Versus you and this big pot of oxtails that you was expected to sell the whole $300 worth of meat, which is half fat anyway. And then you didn't. Now you got to either recook tomorrow or serve leftovers. Like I said, the meat is not a problem. Like the rice and the cabbage, that can be a problem. That can be a waste. So take my advice. If you just started in the food truck business, do not try this gourmet cooking thing unless you are absolutely sure that you already got your customer base. You just basically switching lifestyles, or you just switching locations, or whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I could tell you a few things that would cause the food truck business to fail. You know how many times I went to an area that I had chicken wings prepped? People didn't want chicken wings. They wanted burrito tacos. They wanted something else. They wanted corn. Because when a person is walking up to a food truck, the first thing I wonder what they cook. And they would look at the menu and be like, oh, okay, well, I could settle for this. And right there, they start to adjust and make up their mind. But however, when people get to know you, they know exactly what they're coming to get. Oh, well, this person makes a good so-and-so. I'm in the mood for that hot dog with the chili, or with the relish, or with the sauces that they make, with the cheese that they put on there. That person's mind's already set up because they already know you. Start out with finger foods, pre-cooked foods. Then you can get into you watch your customer base, and then you get familiar with the area. If there's a hospital, a school, kids, what type of stuff they like. And then you can venture into like a full, course, 3 sides type of meal, like the oxtail and the sides we talked about. So you got to be sure about your customer base. Lastly, if you travel with your food truck, I would stick with finger foods. If you are going into an event, now here's another one. A lot of us hear this myth about events. You know what it is? Some guy who comes up, oh man, last time I had an event, I made $16,000. You hear this all the time. What that's going to do to you, that's going to conform and convert you into doing more of what you are not supposed to be doing. If a guy comes, I've had guys come up to me, man. They say the last event they made 20 grand. Okay. But when you continue to talk to that person, everything else doesn't match and everything else doesn't make sense. Don't have that state of mind where you're going to go to an event and make $20,000, $30,000. That's just not true. I'm not saying it's not, it hasn't been done. In your category, it's not true. You know how much money you make? You know how much help you need actually to make $5,000-$6,000 in a truck? You need about 3 or 4 people. You got to pay those people. And then you got to be able to have enough supplies in the food truck to make that much money, unless you got some external refrigeration. Me personally, in my food truck, I can hold $10,000 worth of food. I think I can. With extra freezers, I mean, I got 50, 60 amps, so I got extra freezers. I got extra refrigeration. I can do it. But let me tell you something. When you get to that $10,000 mark, you are worthless. Your body, your feet, you're just out of commission. Okay, events. I always say I don't do events because of safety purposes. As far as people trucks catch on fire, now you're trapped, can't go anywhere. But events, if you have an event that's got 20 food trucks in back of you, you got 20 food trucks on top of you. What's the purpose of even going there? And if you decided to do an event, I can give you an idea. Cod, which is a swai cod, not tilapia. You can do a fried fish, which is like it takes 15 minutes to actually cook. And fries and hush puppies and everything else you serve it with. Now, that's a moneymaker. If you happen to be at an event, keep 1 recipe, maybe 2. Don't be having 6, 7 things on the menu, and then you get caught up where people are waiting, they cop attitudes, and walk away. These are the things you have to know. But at the end of the day, my advice to you is to follow everything I said at the very top of the conversation and take it slowly. As you go, and maybe keep 1, 2, 3 menus on your truck. That's all you need. You don't need 10 things on the menu. You don't need 10 different type of drinks. You don't. A food truck with 3 menus would do better than a food truck with 10 menus. Now, remember what I said. Don't start with the gourmet cooking. Start out with the finger foods. Get to know the area. Get to know your customers. Talk to them. And then customers themselves will tell you, hey, someday maybe you should make a nice Chili's cheesesteak. That, and the other. Eventually, you start taking notes. And you would know what your customers or what that area is based in, what it is what's in demand. You got to realize that I see a lot of trucks like with their country of origin, their flags. Well, if you have an Ethiopian flag on a food truck, somebody from Alaska is not going to walk up to the food truck unless they're just that kind of diverse type of person. Well, what if I have an American flag on my food truck? Well, I don't know. You're in America. Americans are going to walk up to the truck. Sometimes because of the flag. But if I'm from Zambia, I'm from Cameroon, I'm from Cote d'Ivoire, and I got an African flag on the truck, that's a good one. if you have if you have an African flag on your truck, people will come because of the flag. I mean, all kinds of people, because Africa's the motherland. But if you got an Antigua flag, you from Antigua, you might have a Caribbean base, but Caucasians and Hispanics, they're like, oh, I don't know that food, I'm not coming. Well, if you got a Puerto Rican flag in your menu, the first thing on your menu is like tacos and mofongo, you probably going to get more Latin and Hispanic customers. That's just the way it crumbles, guys. There's no racism in it. There's no profiling in it. A duck is not a piano. So that would be a choice that you make as far as how you want your truck to look like and who it is that you want to serve. Me personally, I just got burgers and fries on my trailer and wings and everything else. People just look at a universal food truck that really doesn't stigmatize or even tag who I am. You might walk up one day and get oxtails from me. I don't know. You might get curry chicken. You might get a lobster sandwich. What's in demand? What's trending? The area is people get off at 12, and you better have something ready at 12 because lunch only lasts an hour. They have 30 minutes to eat. So you think people got time to be using, some kind of heavy meal that's probably going to put them to sleep or, cause them to drag for a few hours and stuff or almost fall asleep kind of meal. That heavy meal, that stuff, that's what it does. People don't want to eat something that heavy. People want to grab 2 pieces of fries, 2 pieces of tenders, maybe a taco, maybe a small sandwich. If you're serving lunch, keep that concept. If you're next to a Home Depot, the Italian sausage is your best bet. Never mind the grilling of it, just boil it. Put it on the grill. When they look, you fake the funk. The hot dog, Swedish sausage, smoked Georgia sausage. What's the other one? Kalbasa. Different types of sausages that you can sell to go. If you have a vegetarian or you have this healthy state of mind, you can't do business in the food business because you're going to start picking all kinds of chemicals. Well, this one has sulfur oxide in it. Oh, my God. I'm not going to feed. Just like people who don't like to eat pork, they wouldn't cook pork in their restaurant because there's some myth about pork, whatever it is they think. But if pork is actually what is selling, why don't you sell pork? You don't have to eat pork. The whole message I'm trying to get across is when you're doing business, do not involve your personality in it. Do not involve your inner feelings, your personal ways in it.